Welcome back to part 2 of our Tree of Life in a bracelet. So we completed part 1. We have our tree ready and we're ready to bead. So what I chose to use today are my favorite. These are rose quartz beads. Now I got these on Shein. You can get them at at a local craft store. You can also get them on Amazon. These are my favorite, and they're between the size of 5 and 8 millimeter. So I will pick through them and choose the size that I find appropriate for the space. The real big beads that don't fit, I'll put in a 4 or a 5, 6, 7, 8 inch hoop, whatever else I choose. But you have plenty to choose from when you buy a strand of beads. I like to have a lot of beads in front of me. So we'll be using these and my also very favorite, which you don't need to use, a 4 millimeter clear bicone crystals. I like them, they're very pretty, and I like to alternate my crystals and my beads. You can use just plain seed beads, you don't have to use crystals. You can get a 6/0 millimeter or 4 millimeter, same thing, size seed bead, and your tree will look something like this. Very easy, beginner friendly, and a lot of fun. So the first thing I like to do, is bang around a little bit, make some noise. Hi, wake up. Okay. The first thing I like to do is, on the small ones, I do not like to put a little leaf. That'll come on a larger one, not on this size. I like to put a little crystal, and these are plenty long, probably too long. Could have gone a little shorter, depends on how you twist. We'll see how it goes. Crystal, bead, crystal, and a bead. Let's see how they fit in our space. And that looks good. We'll do the next section. We'll start with a bead this time. Crystal, a bead, and a crystal. That's pretty easy. Now what I like to do is just hold this one aside so you don't lose your beads. Take the first wire, bring it to the hoop, just like that. Cross it over and bring it up. I'd like to then wrap it, give it a little tug so that that bead is up to that hoop. Give it a tug and wrap it again. Now you have 2 little lines on your hoop. You know that you've finished the wrap. Bring it up, pass it in the big space, bring it down. So now your wire is between the inside of your hoop and your bead. Pass it up, cross it over. You don't have to do it that way. That's my preference. You can just wrap it around if you choose. I choose not to. I'll show you why later. Now, do the same thing. Bring your wire over to your hoop, over the hoop, bring it up, pass it over one more time, just like that. Bring it up, cross it over above your bead, beneath your hoop. So you're going to push that down, bring it up, and cross it over. Now we used 14 inches of wire. You can use 13. You can cut an inch off of that. I like to use long wire because I never know what I'm going to do. And I like to keep it simple. So 14 inches works for me. We're going to do it again. And after we finish this, we're going to clip our wires and I'll show you what I do next. Depending on where my little limb is next to the bead, will determine if I want to put another little twist in, and I'll just cross it over once if you choose. We started with the bead, so now we're going to start with the crystal to alternate my pattern. Crystal, bead, crystal, and a bead. Now if you notice that one of your beads looks too big, slide them off. Because once you attach it to your hoop, it's not going to be as easy. That happens to me often. So that one there was a little bit too big for my liking right there. So I will take that one off and put a smaller one. That might work better at the top of the tree, but right here, not so much. Gonna push that one in there. It'll be fine. I'm gonna bend that little wire so it'll settle in there nicely. Wrap it around again. Two little wires on it. Hoop. Pass it down. Give it a tug. Bring it up. Pass it over. And let's do the next one. These beads are kind of big. That's okay. The big ones will work better in a bigger project. This is the fourth branch, which completes one section of our little tree. Make sure you push that all the way down so that your other bead will fit. Bring it over your hoop, bring it up over the hoop one more time, bring it up again, cross it over, above your bead, beneath your hoop, like that. Give it a good tug. And do it one more time. Bring it up and cross it over. Now, the way I like to cut my wire, I like to use these wire cutters. If you're new, use a nail clipper. You don't need a big investment to get yourself started. That's how I started. I like to hold my hoop. Take my wire cutter so the flat end is right there. Go as close as I can and clip. I like to do that section by section because the next part is fun. I'm going to cut all four of these little wires off. It helps to keep our work area nice and neat, and you won't get poked if you keep your work wires down, and that's what I like to do. Okay, now I like to use tweezers. You can use whatever tool you have. You can use pliers. I like to use these cheap dollar store tweezers. One is flat and wider and one is pointy. I like to hold on to my work, take my flat tweezer and just push that little wire down as far as I can. And I go right over all four of these little wires. Just push them down. Some of them might be a little tricky. If it is, you can help it along. And the last one. Now, the reason I do that is I don't want to wrap around my hoop. I don't like it, it's my preference. But I also don't like to get scratched. And this way here, you will not get scratched. But the next step that I like to do, and I don't skip ever, is with the pointy tweezers. If you can't twist the wire around the big tweezer, get in there with the little pointy one and just push that little tiny wire down. We already know it's not going to scratch you, but now I don't want to see it. So I'm just going to push it down. Let me stand up and see if I can get closer for you to see. This little one here. See if I can focus that for you. I know it's hard to see, but it's there. I like to get the tweezer in there, squeeze it, and turn it. Maybe this one here you can see better. Little wires right here. I like to get the tweezer in there. Oops, sorry guys. Let me see if I can do it from the back. Get the tweezer, catch that little wire, and squeeze it and turn it. Just like that. Squeeze it and turn it. Squeeze it and turn it. I hope that helped. I know it's hard. It's hard to get in there. The next thing I like to do, I should wait until I'm all done, but I don't, because I get curious. These are one of my favorite tools, needle nose pliers. If you don't have them, and you just want to try and see if this is your craft, use a tweezer. You need to support your work, especially more so with the 24 gauge wire, because it is very, very flexible and breakable. So you want to hold on to your work, get your little needle nose plier into all these little limbs that you twisted, and you want to give them a little twist. What that'll do is pull them down nice and straight and give character, make your little tree look more realistic. Now I'm going to do it again. Watch these 2 rows, because that's not the only one, but watch what happens when I grab this little wire right here, like this. Can you see? Watch what happens. A little twist. It brought them nice and straight. Now just push down on them. Now you have little bends in your wire. But we're not done. Go to the next one. Support your work. Finger behind, finger on top, and also up there. Little bend right there. Bend and pull it down. Now you have a beautiful little section created. How pretty is that? Okay, so now let's just move those down. I'm going to pull this over. It doesn't look like it's in the center of the hoop. That's not a big problem. We'll fix it. Should have put it in the center first. I did not, and that's okay. It's not a mistake. You'll just make it work. It's a tree. It'll be beautiful. Okay. Next time, if you want to, what I should have showed you, is to get your tree in the center of your hoop first, and then just take your wires and fold them over to the section that you're not working on. It helps you to just hold on to them and keep your tree in the center of the hoop. I'm not that worried about it. And we're going to continue that pattern that we've been using after I take a drink. So we ended here with the bead, and now I'm going to move my tools out of the way. I'm going to start with a little crystal. A bead. A crystal. And a bead. Now, you don't have to do 2 wires at a time. If you want to do 1 at a time, you can do 1 at a time. Just like that. After you get your beads on your branch, bring it to your hoop. Wrap it over once and push it up. Wrap it again and bring it up. Cross it over. Bring it down. Bring it around, up, and over. We're going to do that again. This time we'll do it a little bit slower so that you can see exactly what it is I'm doing. Now we're going to start with a bead because we ended that with the crystal, if you choose. I like to do it that way because it alternates size and they fit nicer, more proportionately if I do it that way. But you don't have to. You can use all seed beads all regular beads or all crystals. It's entirely up to you. It's your tree. You can make it beautiful. If it's not in the center of your hoop, that's okay. It'll still be beautiful. Make sure you push them all the way down. Go up to the top. Pass it over your hoop. Bring it up. Bring it around the hoop one more time. It's always good to have your fingers everywhere. You can just pass it up, grab onto it, always hold on to it again right there. My fingers, everywhere you see my fingers, they're there because that's where I support my work. And before I pull it on that wire, I like to support it again and give it a tug. Now we have 2 done. 2 more and we'll clip off those wires and we'll carry on. Now I can see that this bead is kind of big, so I'm going to put in another little twist just to get my crystal away from it a little bit. Don't want too much interference. Okay, now I'll put the little crystal on, slide that down, a bead, a crystal, and a bead. Okay, you don't make the cut. I can't find the hole. That one's a little bit big. I'm gonna swap it out. A little bit too big. I'll find something smaller. They're all different sizes. You'll see some of them are better for a bigger hoop. I find if I put one on and I'm not loving it, I'm gonna go back and try and change it. And that can be disastrous. So just slip it off. And let's wrap it around. And bring it up and over. Now we're going to do this one nice and slow, and then we're going to go back and cut those 4 wires. I'm going to start with a little bead. Let's see if we can find a small one. Bead, crystal, a bead, and a crystal. Bring it to the hoop, hold on to it with your finger, push this little wire up. In this case, it's a long wire. Excuse me. Wrap it around one more time. Now it's a little tighter. Still need to hold on to it. Support your work. Bring it down above your bead, beneath your hoop, up and over. Give it a little tug. And we're ready to cut our wires. Get nice and close and cut them off. I'll go back with my tweezers and push that little wire down. And go back with the other tweezers to get in there and give it a twist. Push the little piece down that you just cut and do it again. And sometimes you just need to squeeze it and it'll just go right down where you want it. If not, give it a little push. That one needed extra. Right there. and go back and do this with your fingers. If you feel it, I feel it right there. That means I didn't push it down enough. If it's long enough to catch, it will. I don't want it catching. Push it down. I do go back afterwards. There is one more step I call lacing the branches, which helps to keep my tree branches where I want them, and it also is another way for me to push down any little wires that are left sticking up. They're not going to come undone because I didn't just wrap them around the hoop, which is going to allow me to shape my tree the way I would like. So now, to support our work, get the little round nose pliers, get in and just give everything a little twist, like this. Once you completed 4 and 4, that's 8 branches to one section, and you've twisted all the little ones and this big limb, next you can do this big one right here, closest to the trunk. And that's my favorite. I like to grasp it and push it down and pull it up. It gives it a nice shape. And how pretty is that? Nice shape. And they're all nice and tight. And now we're ready to go on to the top part of our tree. I'm just going to move my other wires out of the way, just like this. The top part, just like this, will consist of 8. These are 4, that's one section, and these 4 will complete the top section of our tree. But for now, we'll just work on these 2. I'm going to separate these wires just like this, and sit back down and enjoy beating this tree. I usually do have a container right there for my wire, and I didn't bring it. Well, I have it. It's just not in my reach, so I'm just going to keep them right there for now. And we're going to start with the crystal because we ended with the crystal, so we start with the crystal. Or another way is we started with the bead, so now we're going to alternate and start with the crystal, if you choose. Bring it right to the hoop, push that little bead down, let it spin until you get it where you want it. I like it like that. Hold on to that wire and pass it up. Grab onto it, wrap it over one more time, pass it back up like that, cross it over and push that wire back down above your bead and below your hoop. Nice and tight. Hold on to it with your finger and do it one more time. Bring it up and cross it over. Then we're going to do it again to the other one. Push them down so they go all the way down there. And wrap it around your hoop. Bring it up. Wrap it around your hoop again. Bring it up. Cross it over the top of that crystal. Oops, that's below it. No, there you go. I'm just going to keep an eye on it and bring it up and pass it over again. You can continue on. I do, but actually I like to do it this way because I get them out of my way and it helps me to shape my little tree after I get a drink. So now we cut the little wires, all 4, nice and close. There's only 2. We still have one more branch to go. That's okay. I think I'm going to put a little twist, just one, just so that my bead will fit in between this bead and this crystal. And slide them down. Excuse me. And we'll do the next one. Oh, I don't like that one. Looks like it'll break. That happens. If you pick one up in the hole, it doesn't have to be directly in the center, but if it's just like a splinter of a bead, take it off. Because we get rough. We're going to twist and bend our wires, and you don't want it to break. And you'll find those beads, no matter where you buy them, how much or how little, they're not all perfect. But they look perfect on a tray. So let's take this one, bring it to the hoop. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. Okay. I think it's this one. For some reason, I twisted them. Did I? No, I didn't. I started with the wrong stone. Okay. So here I ended with the bead. What I'd like to do is start with the crystal. We'll just flip them over. It just wasn't lying right, or I would have kept going, but that wasn't the case. That's okay. Just pick it up and move it if you choose. Doesn't matter the order that you put them, it matters that they fit the space and they are not bulging over the top of your hoop, unless that's how you want them. I've done it that way too. Not today, not on this tree. Okay, let's try this one. Perfect. Now we'll pass that wire up. Go over. Pass it up. Cross it over. See, the thing is always there, just to hold it, support it, guide it, catch it. It does all the work. And we got a jumper on the floor. It's okay. I clean up after every project. I have cats. And now, this one, we need a crystal. Let's see. We have a bead, a crystal, a bead, and will a crystal be enough? We'll see. If not, then we have to add something else. Or change a bead. We'll see. We make it work. Hold on to it. Pass it up. Get the finger right back there again. Give it a tug. Cover it up again so it doesn't slide on you. Bring it up. Fingers right back there. Push it down. It's like backtrack one. In between the branch that you just finished and the one you're working on. Make sure it goes above that crystal. There we go. And pull it up and bring it over. Now we're going to cut these other two, and then we're going to shape all four. So we're going to take the tweezer and we're going to catch that little wire where I just cut off the long part, like that. Let me see if you can see this real close without getting out of your focus. This little wire right here. Can you see it? Just going to push gently, push that down. Sometimes you can push the tweezer down and it'll just push it right down for you. This one here is sticking up straight. Just going to tweezer on top of it and push it down. There it is. Sometimes you can catch it with this one. Makes it easier. Both of those are down. This one is not. See? Pokey. And push it down. And this last one right there. I don't know if you can see that. Just going to push this down. There it is. Just like that. Would go like that. I could still feel it. There we go. And now I'm going to get in there with these tweezers. Try and not get in your face. Always hold in the work. Every place I can, I hold my work. Get in and turn. Get in there and catch that little wire and give it a little, one of those. Just a little adjustment. It'll keep it safe. There we go. They're all down. Nothing's stuck. And now we get to have some fun and shape up this tree. I'm going to hold it here, and these fingers behind are also supporting my work. I'm going to get in there. We got a big old bead. We can still get in there and pull these down straight. Gently get in there. Now watch these 2 rows, and they're going to go pull down nice and straight. And now we have these 2. This one could hold your work from underneath, or do like that. Put them in between 2 fingers. Support it further down like that. Can you see how I'm holding this? We're working on this wire right here. The one that's nice and straight doesn't need to be nice and straight. That needs to have some beautiful curl to it, like a tree. Now, what do you think? Isn't that just beautiful? That wasn't hard. We've got that done in 32 minutes. And that will make a beautiful, beautiful gift. Or a gift on a gift. Put it with a name card. It's lovely. A bookmarker. A birthstone. It's endless. It's the tree of life. It never dies. Just spread the love. I'm going to do 2 more right here. And I can tell this needs a little twist. So we're going to put in a nice twist. It's about level to this bead right here. I gotta do 1 more. Just like that. I would like all my beads not to be exact, but within the same distance somewhat. That's what I meant when I told you that you may have to add a few twists, which is fine, because we're gonna squiggle them up anyway and add some beautiful character to our tree. Now I'm gonna pull out a whole bunch because appear to be very, very big. I think the small ones settle to the bottom. Okay, let me get a quick drink. We ended with a bead. So now we're going to start, if you choose, with the crystal. That's my stomach, I apologize. I'm sure you heard that. It's embarrassing. It's just the way I roll, unfortunately. I'm going to take that one off because the hole is just too close to the edge and I don't want to break it. Sometimes if you see one you like, just pick it up. That looks like it'll fit perfect. And it will. Now, I'm going to go into the second wire. I ended with a bead, so now I'm going to start with the bead. So a lot of these beads are bigger, which I absolutely love. There's plenty of small, plenty of big. And the bigger ones will do in a 4-inch hoop. And it'll be the same as this. I add a few little things different, like a little leaf here and there. But this is where you're going to learn, right here. This playlist is going to show you exactly what I want you to do. I want you to be positive and make a beautiful tree and be proud of your work and share it. No matter who you give it to, they're going to love it. Just like you do. Or you wouldn't be here. Just like I do. Or I wouldn't be showing you how. Here we go. Now we've already got 2. That was fast. 2 more. And we're going to start with the bead because crystal, because we started with the bead. We're going to alternate on this tree. Maybe we'll use all seed beads for the next one. I've already done them, but I'll do another one. But this is part 2, beading. And I will title them so that hopefully they'll all be together. I'm still learning too. I can do my craft. I'm just learning how to share it properly. So if you're new here, welcome. I make mistakes. I teach. I learn. Boy, do I learn. I'm going to wrap this one over just because I like the way it fit. Isn't that exciting? Little things. And pass it down. Now if you think, oh, did I do it? Check at the top. You see 2 little wires? That means you wrapped it around twice. Did I do it? I did not. Wrap it over again. I like those 2 little wires. It makes it nice and snug and easy for you to tighten up. Now we can pass it down. Make sure it's above that bead. Always have a little helper finger at them to pass the wire up if it gets in the wrong spot. If I'm going too fast, you can slow it down. There's a little button in the settings right above this area that I'm working. And if you tap on that, it should show you speed. It should say normal. You can slow it down. And then it'll go back when you're done. And you can pause. Bead. Crystal. Bead. Crystal. Bring it up. Pass it down. Catch it. Bring it up again. Pass it down. Bring it up one more time. Look at that. We've already got 4 done. That was quick. We've got 4 left, and that means that we've completed part 2 of this little tree. So now we're going to cut the wires. Nice and close. Just get that little wire clipper or nail clipper, whatever you're using, even little scissors. Just make sure it's your craft. Spend as little money as you have to. Watch as many videos, not only mine, any video. Learn. Make sure it's your passion. And if it is, you'll know it. And then you can make it, you can show your granddaughter, your niece, your sister, anybody how to do it with you. Now we're going to get these 4 little wires, push them down. Feel free to ask a question or leave a comment. I have many wonderful viewers who, God bless them, have been here for a while with me and have taught me a lot and even gone out of their way to answer any of your questions if I don't get to them right away. And I appreciate them, and you will too. Read their comments. They're wonderful people. We have a friendly little channel here. It's growing, and we're growing. And the support and the information here is priceless. And keep it real. No editing. Lots of mistakes and learning. No bare wires. That's what I like. Now, we're going to do this big branch. I like that the best. But we'll do these little ones first. We're going to support our work. Get into this little branch here. I'm going to change up these 4 branches. I'm going to give it a twist and pull down Same over here. Get it in there, give it a little twist and pull it down. Same with this one here. Twist and pull it down. When I say to pull it down, it only helps to line up these rows. They don't have to be perfect. They have to be pretty. And I think we've got that. We've got pretty. We have 4 more. Nope, we have 8 more. 2 more branches. 2 more sections. Don't go by fast. I'm going to throw a couple of twists in here just to bring it up high enough. Same here. Just a few. Okay. Okay, now let's get this out of our way. And we're going to start with the crystal. And a bead. And a crystal. And a bead. Come in. Thank you. And now we're going to do a bead, because we're alternating, but you don't have to. If you go into the playlists, I put it under a playlist of items that I use, and there you will find the seed beads that I use. If you choose to make a tree of life with just seed beads, it is very, very, very easy. I've done a tutorial, and I've even done it with little birds, and everything that I use you'll find in that playlist that I just learned how to create. See, I'm learning with you. And pass it over. It's a little space. I could have used a bigger bead there, but it's not going to matter. We're going to twist that, and it's going to help it to fill right in there. And we'll do the next one. And we forgot, or it came off the little crystal. There we go. Perfect. Bring it up. Pass it over again. 2 little wires. Or not. You can do it once. And if you don't want to pass it up and around, and it will be a bead underneath your hoop, just wrap it around you. Wrap it around. Try and cut it on the underside so it doesn't come loose when you tighten up your branches. That's why I choose to do it this way, but I've done it the other way. That's how I started. That's also why I stopped. I couldn't tighten my tree. Okay, let's get a little crystal. Oh, no. Get that one. That's barely hanging on there. We can make that one go away so we don't pick it up again. And I'm going to do this last wire, and we'll be done with that section. Look for something smaller. That one might be too big. It looks too big. We'll see in a minute. Yeah, I think it's too big. We'll take it off. So if you're new here, the noise in the background is 1, I have my fan on, and 2, it's Miss Abby. She's my cat, and she snores. So she's fine. That's her. Bring it up and cross it over. Same with this one. Bring it up, cross it over, and bring it up again, and cross it over. Now we can clip off these 4 wires, and then we have 1 section left, and we'll be done with this beautiful little tree of life. Embellishments will come afterwards. That'll be another section, another video. We do everything one at a time so that you can see it step by step. I don't want to go ahead of you. I want you to be able to follow. Now we have the 4th one. Push it down. These are all pushed down already. And now, just going to make sure that they're down. Give them all a little twist, a little pinch, a little turn, like that. And then I go back and double check top and bottom, and they feel perfect. Excuse me. Now let's go back, put a tree in our hand, hold on to our work. First we're going to do this big one right here. I like doing those. Watch how it tightens all this up. I'm going to get my round nose plier. I'm going to put it in where I want it. I'm going to gently turn and pull down. And that tightened all that right up and gave it some beautiful, beautiful squiggly lines but branches. Now you see the difference. Let me stand up and see if you can see this perfect the way I want you to. These ones here have not been shaped yet. These ones have. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to put this right on my hand and push down right there. That will support my work. And give it a twist and a pull. Pull it down. Twist and pull down. Again, right there, twist and pull down. Give it a pull down and a turn up. And now, we're going to work on this last section of our tree. And then we're going to move the branches around. Just pluck them with your finger. Get them however you want them, because we still have another step that I do to keep them in the place that I put them, and that's called lacing. Kind of like lacing your sneaker to keep it closed. Well, I like to lace my tree to keep it from separating. I don't want my branches to do what I'm doing right now. I'll set them up, and then I wrap or lace, whichever one you want. You call it whatever. Or if you choose not to do it, you can do that too. I never make a tree without lacing, and we'll get to that after we finish these last 4 in the next section, embellishing. Okay, now we're going to start with a crystal. If I had one. Crystal. Bead, crystal, and maybe something smaller. Oh, I think that's too small. Let's see. Yeah, you're too small. Look at this one. Wrap it over, bring it up, give it a little tug, wrap it up, 2 on your hoop, pass it down like that, give it a tug, bring it up, and give it a tug. Next, we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to start with the bead. Bead, crystal. That looks too big. We'll see. Bead, that worked fine. Bring it up, over, up, cross it over. Push it down. tug, and we'll do on the last 2 wires for our pretty tree. And we're going to start with a crystal. Okay, now I'm going to bring this wire up. These are the last 2. We'll make some room. Bring it up again. Go right above that big old bead. Perfect. And bring it right back up and cross it over. And we're going to do it again. Push it down a little bit, make it fit. Looks a little rounded. When we turn these little branches into real branches, realistically, it will straighten them out. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to be pretty. And we have created very pretty. And it's not hard. You just have to pay attention to what you're doing. Take your time. Speed will come. You don't have to be quick. It just has to be pretty. Now we're going to cut off these little, I need a drink. I'm sorry, my friends. Yeah. I get very thirsty. Talking. Let's cut off these last 4 wires. I have so many different techniques that I would be glad to teach you if you stick around. This one here is one. Just string them on. There are many. You'll learn to make your own too. Just little tricks that I've learned along the way. My work is my own ideas, my own designs. I copy no one. Anything that I do, if you see it from someone else, they've clearly seen what I do, because this comes just from my own way of doing it. Everybody else does it different. You'll do it different as well. But this right here is my technique, and I'm sharing it with you with the hope that you use it as a guide. And you can also develop your own ways of making trees. That's why I'm here. Show you my way and encourage you to grow and try new things on your own. It's the way we learn. So now we're gonna, do I feel? I do. I feel, there we go. I feel a little wire. I don't know if you can see it. I can feel it. So it has to go. And I'm going to have to wrap it one more time. There it is. That one there was a little bit longer, so it didn't get pushed down. Now it's gone. Okay, so I'm going to just lay it in my hand, hold on to this nice and firmly, and twist and pull down. Gently twist and pull down. And there, and there, and then the one I like the most, right there. Pull and turn down. Now, let's see what we have. Let's move our branches around a little bit. That's what's good about this. Until you lace, you can move them. But once you put on a jump ring and a chain, you don't want them to do this. because then they'll leave a space. If you hang this cute little tree right above your sink in your kitchen window, it'll be beautiful. As long as the branches stay together the way that you created it, intended it to be. I'm just going to move my little roots around a little bit. I just noticed a space. It's not a big deal. Sometimes you can go back in and give them all a little twist as well. I'm not going to do that. I like them like this. Plus I'm going to put a little something to hang there. One of my other trademarks that I really like to do. I mean, this is perfect just the way it is. I like it. I think it's very, very pretty. Very pink. Rose quartz. I don't do this on every tree, but most of them. I like to get in here on this trunk with they're plastic pliers. If you don't have them, you could even use these. I've used these as well. I do prefer these because I like the space. Not too close. Just gently, just like not even pushing. For real, just hold on to your tree so you don't break anything. And just gently turn your wrist and put a little bend in your tree trunk. And there you have it. This has taken us a little while, not too long. I hope you liked it. This is part 2. Part 1 was all the wire. Part 2 was all the beads. I will see with part 3. We will embellish this tree. We'll add a chain. We'll wrap it with wire. And it'll be ready to share, to keep, to give, to hang. Until next time, guys. Stay tuned for part 3.